Yes, it is time for Cup of Tech Gumbo. Yes, we are welcoming in Haggai Davis. What's happening, dude?
I am so excited.
You should be.
Yes.
You should be.
Big milestone for Tech Gumbo.
Yes, sir.
Our 250th show will air this weekend.
250 is a big number.
For a show that airs once a week, that's not bad.
No, not bad at all. No. For a show that's made once a week. We air that bad boy twice.
That's true.
We air that bad boy twice.
Very well stated.
Saturday and Sunday at 4.
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday at 4 right here on Talk 107.3 FM. And, of course, everywhere you get your podcasts.
8.5 years.
November of 2014 you got started?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And, you know, for the first couple of years, we were only doing 2 shows a month. So the number would have probably been higher if we'd been doing every week like we're doing now. But, yeah, so that's the breadth of the subjects we've covered through the years and all of the people that we've had on as guests, I'm stunned that this thing has lasted as long as it has.
I was going to say, you've covered everything from SpaceX to Tesla.
and
anything else Elon Musk has done.
Yes, and certainly beat up on Twitter. The train wreck that is.
Did Twitter die yet? Any day now, right? Any day now. We've been saying this for how long?
It's holding on by threads.
No, that's what we're saying now. Yeah, no. Let's move it to that. Any day now.
It's hard to turn away from a train wreck, though. I mean, it just everybody wants to stop and look at it.
I know. Which is why train wreck as a business model isn't the worst idea.
You know, I mean, he's got fewer and fewer subscribers and fewer advertisers, and now people who are dead still have their blue check marks officially showing up.
How would that happen?
You know,
hang on. You've kind of introduced a topic and inadvertently introduced a topic that I think we need to dive in on at some point.
Oh, it's going to be next week's thing.
Social media needing to do a better job of getting rid of when a person dies. Jerry Springer died yesterday. Okay, what does it take to remove him from social media?
We've actually done that story a couple of times.
Okay,
yes.
Well, because
that's been several years ago, but yes.
So when my dad passed, it took forever to have his Facebook account gone. And it's like, it's a tough thing for the families, to be sure. Yes. But even more than that, it's still an opening for someone to have their identity stolen posthumously.
Yes.
Bad thing.
Very bad.
Is there anything can be done in the world of social media that can help remove? I don't want to be like, bring out your dead, but like, is there a way to make that more, hey, I knew this person, here's a link to his obit, please cancel his account?
Yes, there are things in Facebook that you can, if you're a family member, you can go in, and I don't remember all the details of how to do it now, but yes, as a family member, Facebook has put capabilities in that you can go in and remove those accounts. Okay.
I want to get around to cybersecurity in a little bit. We talked with Brandon Pugh from R Street yesterday about cybersecurity or some of the emerging threats of TikTok and whatnot. I'll get around to that in a little bit. We got to dive back in on Netflix password sharing because we talked about it a little bit last week. Have we seen movement here?
Yes. It's not working out very well for Netflix right now. They have, in Spain, they've lost over 1 million subscribers in the first quarter alone because the idea of, well, I can't share my password, screw it, I'm out. I'm just canceling my account. And they had 1.75 million new subscribers in the first quarter. Wall Street was expecting 20 or 30% more than what they got there.
Is that a net of the new subscribers?
Yes, just a net.
So that counts the cancellations.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the whole idea of this crackdown on the password sharing, which was supposed to have launched in the U.S. in the first quarter, now has been kicked down the road to at least sometime in June. And my guess is it gets kicked down even further, further down the road, because it's not going to go well for Netflix on this.
My wife and I have narrowed it down to 2 shows. There's 2 more shows we have to find alternate solutions to, and then we're going to get rid of ours.
Too many people, and what's going to happen, some new show is going to pop up that everyone talks about. Okay, well, I'm going to go get Netflix for a month, watch the shows, and then cancel it. And then whenever a new show comes out and somebody wants, it's going to, instead of just, okay, every month, let it roll, just hit my credit card, fine.
Yeah.
People are going to pop in and pop out. And
well, that's the problem when they want to do stuff like this, though. What they're doing is they're making them aware. They're making us aware that they're there.
Yeah.
The best thing they could do is charge us every month and just stay in the background. Like, every time you step up and want to flex because you feel like you're not making enough money, you're letting me know that you are charging me something, and now I'm going to go back and reevaluate. Do I really need this charge when everything at the grocery store costs what it does?
The line that 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing just continues to ring, and I don't think anybody at Netflix has ever heard that phrase.
No, I don't believe they have. I don't want to get to the cybersecurity thing until after the break, so we have enough room to run with it. Before we get to the break, though, I don't believe we talked about this one last week. Georgia's National Guard.
Yes.
Tell me all about this story with the high school, with they're using location tracking.
They are pushing ads to high school students while they're on campus only at this high school in Georgia.
You know what? We did talk about this for a minute. Well, it was barely a minute last week.
But they're geofencing the advertising so that when you walk onto campus, all of a sudden these ads start showing up in your social medias. Except in TikTok, they don't do TikTok.
Oh well,
because China bad. The idea though that you take a step off of campus, you cross the street, and now you're on the other side of the road on the sidewalk, and you don't see the same ads you were seeing before, is a real big problem with me. You're pushing ads to kids. Look, the military is a great profession. You have great opportunities for advancement and all kind of things in the military. This is not an anti-military thing. But you're pushing ads to 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. And I just have a problem with that you're specifically picking out kids, telling them, here, come look at this ad about the National Guard. But as soon as you walk across the street, now it's not okay to do that?
Okay, we might have to stay in on this topic because, if they walk across the street, I agree. You got too narrow a search to begin with. Also, if you're not going to be on TikTok, you're not fishing where the fish are biting. But other than that, though, who should the National Guard be advertising to?
If you're telling me that the recruiting officer is on campus and meeting with the kids, great. I'm all in for that. But pushing ads, just ads.
Okay. All right. We're going to be on opposite sides on this one. We got a break, though. We're coming up on 647 at Talk 107.3 FM. We're going to check your money now. We're going to check traffic. He's Haggai Davis. We do a Cup of Tech Gumbo every single week. Now, when we come back, we're also going to talk a little bit about cybersecurity as well. The big question of the week on this week's episode revolves around why cybersecurity is a myth. We'll talk about it next. So it's okay for them to send someone out and say, hey, kid, this is why the National Guard is great, but to have a video saying the exact same thing you don't like.
Because you're pushing ads to kids where I just don't I don't like that we're specifically targeting kids with advertising on anything. It's not just the National Guard. I don't like the fact that we're singling out, if it was toothpaste advertising to kids, I don't like that you're specifically targeting inside a school. I mean, you're sitting in Miss Smith's algebra class, not paying attention.
First of all, put away your damn phone. Okay, where they're targeting, the kids shouldn't be on their phones in the first place. To me, a bigger problem is a kid looking at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram while they're in school. That's a bigger problem than the advertising. But that's not the National Guard doing that. That's the kids getting away with that.
And so I guess my biggest problem with it is it's not that it's the National Guard. It really is not. It's that anybody is pushing ads where it's only geofenced on the campus of the school. If you're going to do it, hey, it's fine. If you're going to push ads to the kids 24/7 to anytime little Johnny or little Susie's on their phones, okay, that's fine. But to specifically pick out these kids when they're in that school, you've drilled way too deep into the weeds with this and I don't like how they're selectively just grabbing these kids while they're on campus. That's the part I have a problem with. It's not the content at all.
I don't know who they're supposed to go after, though.
It's not about the National Guard.
No. I'm saying if you're an advertiser or if you have a mission statement, the National Guard needs to recruit people. If they don't recruit people, their numbers will dry up, right?
Right.
Okay, who are they recruiting? Should they be recruiting you and me? They coming after Alondra?
Well, maybe Alondra.
Yeah, Alondra's actually young enough. But, like, they're not coming after you and me. They're advertising for people who are coming out of high school going into college. You can't recruit somebody coming out of high school unless you advertise to high schoolers.
There's going to be like 12 seconds because the report is short. Do you want to say something for 12 seconds or just?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure I'm getting beat up.
I'm sure I'm the one getting beat up on this one because I'm the one who's actively saying yes, advertise to high schoolers. Go to talk1073.com right now. Time is dwindling. The Dreams Come True Radiothon continues. Make your donations. It ends on this weekend.
Go to talk1073 now.
Yeah. I will turn this car around. What do you have coming back in?
Depeche Mode, Enjoy the Silence.
Save that one for Rocco. Yeah.
So what you want? You want that?
Beat It. Beat It by Michael Jackson.
We're saying Billie Jean.
Yeah.
Like, hasn't the military already recruited kids in high school, like, since?
Yes, but they did it in person.
Yeah.
They would go there the one day, and you're never going to survive with.
I think they still do it in person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah.
It's the data privacy, your digital, rights are just.
I was saving that. We're going to get to that.
That's my hang up with this.
Yeah.
But that's like everything and everybody, though. Like, you get targeted.
Well, and that's his
ads.
point. That's
Yeah.
Haggai's point. And I don't wholly disagree with that. I'm saying if it's good for the goose, it's good for the National Guard.
And because this is not about that it's the National Guard.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be anything. I don't like targeting to a geofenced area to high school kids. That's the biggest problem that I have. I mean, because when that kid walks across the street and is off campus, he doesn't or she doesn't see those ads
Which
anymore.
is stupid on their part, by the way.
Yes,
It's
so
foolish by the National Guard.
And that's where I get hung up with this. In that you're only doing this when they're on campus. They're not a viable audience anymore after they cross the street. Something's just not comfortable with that to me.
652 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Haggai Davison for a cup of tech gumbo. Been going back and forth a little bit during the break about National Guard advertising to high school students while they're on campus. Haggai, you brought up a number of great points during the break that I want to see if we can get to as many of them as we can on the air. Which check us out on Facebook Live if you're not already doing so. You get a ton more show kind of behind the scenes, as it were. Your biggest problem is the fact that this is happening on campus, or the fact that this is happening to kids?
It's both. It because data privacy and your digital rights are very important. And in the United States, we ignore them.
No, we absolutely do. But that data privacy, those digital rights have all been thrown away the moment you sign up for social media.
I disagree with that. Yeah, you do, but you should have. We should respect those rights more. And you, as the citizen, you should have control of your digital information and what's
Your
going
argument is so much larger than this one story.
Oh,
that this
yes,
story
it is.
It's going to get lost in this story.
Because my hang up is these kids when they're on campus, it's okay to advertise to them, but as soon as they walk off campus, we don't need to advertise to them anymore.
No, okay, so first of all, that's a bad idea by the National Guard, because the National Guard should be targeting these kids where the kids are, which means if you're going to recruit, you need to target them where they are. You know where they are for a certain portion of the day. After that portion of the day, it's not like they don't exist anymore. It just gets a lot harder to geofence and target your ads. And the more you target your ads, the less you can make that ad cost, which means the further you can make your dollar go. So what they're doing is they're saying, I'm not going to try and chase you all day long. I'm just going to cut bait. Now,
I'm going to wait till you're in Miss Algebra class, and then I'm going to pump ads at you.
Which means they should be wasting their money, because Miss Smith should not be allowing her kids in her class to be on social media or on their phones at all. Not to mention the fact that there's been no blame at all for the parents who haven't set the tone here to say you keep your damn phone in your book bag the entire time. If I need to get a hold of you, I will get a hold of you. But that's not the National Guard's fault. That's not social media's fault. That falls on the parents and the administrators of the school.
100% agree. This is not about the National Guard at all. It's not about any kind of specific content other than that they're advertising straight to kids only while they're on this campus. And it could be cards
to advertise to kids.
I understand that. But do they need to advertise to 13 and 14-year-olds right now? When you're 4 years away from getting there.
No, I understand that, but everything else in this world is advertised. Should LSU be advertising to high school freshmen? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes.
What's good for the goose is good for the National Guard here.
And so again, it's not about the content. I really don't care that it's the National Guard. My hang up is that we're specifically targeting kids who you should not be targeting specifically in a geofenced area. It's not about advertising to kids.
For a market, though, man, you wouldn't have to have 100 water balloons filled up at once. You walk down a cereal aisle.
But it's about the geofencing that's where I get the hang up. Mm-hmm. It's not about advertising to kids. That's who the National Guard needs to go after. Right. 100% agree with that. They don't need to put an ad on my phone like you said. I'm not their target. Those kids are. Why do you have to geofence it to where you're only going to target those kids only while they're on campus? That's where I'm having the biggest issue.
I have no problem with them targeting a campus, because you fish where they're biting. If you don't fit, then you're wasting your time.
But why is that kid no longer a viable target when they cross the street and they're walking home?
Percentage-wise, it's going to drop greatly.
They're still kids. They're still 16, 17-year-old kids.
But they disperse. They go in a million different directions.
But social media doesn't care where you are.
What I'm saying, though, is when you're narrowing down those ads, every time you check something off that narrows it down further, the cost of the ad goes down as well.
I get it. But if you're going after little Johnny or little Susie, who they're juniors and seniors in high school kind of thing, and you're looking, hey, when you turn 18, National Guard's a good thing. Okay, great, that's fine. Advertise to them. But when they get off campus now, all of a sudden we're not interested in little Johnny and little Susie, and that's where if you're only drilling down these ads while somebody's on campus, you're going too far with the invasion into the digital privacy and the data rights of people. That's my problem with this.
We only got about 2.5 minutes left. I want to touch on the question of the week. I'm so not done with that other topic, but we got to touch on the question of the week. Why cybersecurity is a myth. You brought on your president and CEO.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So Don Monaster, our CEO at General Informatics, he wrote a blog, and he in his blog said why cybersecurity is a myth, and he got all kind of reaction. People are even industry people who create the firewalls and tools that we use. We're banging on him like, why are you saying that? And bottom line, he's saying it's not cybersecurity. We should be using the phrase cyber safeguarding because there's no way we can 100% say, oh, we've now protected you. You're completely safe when you're on the internet.
Right.
Go to the office. You can do whatever you want because we're protecting you 100%. And then somebody clicks on something and now their computers are infected. They got ransomware, malware, whatever. We're as an IT company that specializes in cybersecurity, the most we can do is safeguard your stuff. We cannot 100% guarantee you're secure when you're on the internet. Nobody can.
Is this a problem with the way the word security has been perceived?
Yes.
Because you could have a security system on your house and still get robbed.
Absolutely. But people think, oh, well, I've got cybersecurity and I'm safe. I can do anything I want on the internet now.
Right.
And that's a myth.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't. You have to participate in the securing of your data. You have to train your employees. Whether you're at home or at work, you can't just click on every link you see. You can't just open every attachment. There are things you've got to do.
But the links are so tempting.
Oh, absolutely. The Nigerian prince is still waiting to send you that $10 million. You just got to click on the link.
I can open up a web browser right now and just the links are so tempting. College Football World reacts to College Football World reacts to insane Alabama news. Oh, I want it so bad. I'm not gonna click on it though. He's Haggai Davis. We do a cup of Tech Gumbo every week. You could check out the full serving, the 250th serving of Tech Gumbo, Saturday and Sunday at 4 right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Appreciate you, man.
You bet.
Here comes ABC News. Galen says, can we move on? Oh, sorry, Galen. Let's just do everything according to, No, we can't, because it was a really good discussion we were having.
Byron thinks I'm modernizing the get off my lawn attitude.
See, I don't have a problem with them doing the if I'm targeting this group in this area during this time of day, it's going to cost a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
If I've got a budget, if I've got a marketing budget, and then I could target this group at this time of day, or in this place for this amount, that marketing is going to be significantly less expensive.
I get that.
So you make decisions in marketing where you have to trim for the budget. And when you trim for the budget, I still have the same group of people. We just narrow down the time of day. The bigger problem to me is with the teachers.
There's just so many problems to me with this story about the way, and again, it has nothing to do with the National Guard. It could be Chevrolet advertising this way to where it's only kids on campus or whatever product that you want to advertise to. I just don't think it's a good idea to when you have it just.
If I have a Facebook post I want to boost, Facebook is going to ask me, who do I want to boost it to, where do I want to boost it, and for how long.
So why is it? Because that phone, that kid on that phone, why is it different that the kid crossed the street? You're still going after that same kid.
Because you're not going to hit as many kids within the same geo-fenced area. You're not going to hit as many at once. You're casting a very you can't cast that wide.
But now you're having to drill down to an IP range now, and it's you to me that just goes too far. I mean,
why
I know this sounds.
Why would the people at Fanatics want to advertise just in Tiger Stadium just on Saturday nights in the fall? Do those LSU fans not exist after the game?
Okay, one of my biggest problems with the difference is you're going after adults now, not kids.
No, I'm going after a market.
But
If your argument is we shouldn't be advertising to kids at all, then I would tell you get rid of Disney Channel and Nickelodeon.
I love Troy. I love he's Troy's making fun because I'm defending a failing position like a boat flapping on a like a caught fish on the deck of a boat.
No, I get your sentiment. As a father of 3 who's still going through it, who has my son come to me with every damn thing Lego's ever invented, I understand. I'm just saying that boat has sailed. Like,
look, I grew up watching Saturday morning cartoons, and all they did was, the sugary cereals, advertising, hey, Mikey,
Mikey
he
likes it. That's right.
And
that wasn't even a sugary cereal. Time to get a look at your forecast. Here's WBRZ meteorologist Marissa Nuzzo. No, Jason Wheat. Sorry, I knew I was going to do that eventually. Did you still have me on for that? No. Anyway, yeah. From the moment that started, kids were before that even.
But you
Archie comics, whatever.
But it didn't drill down to just the one person. That's my problem. You were broadcasting as opposed to drilling down into, and I get it. I mean, this is a losing argument. I just don't like it.
I know. I understand. I get it. All right.